Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. It's another episode of In Your Shoes, the advice-based show where you guys submit a question and I read and respond to it in a Google form, which I will include in the description down below if you have a question for me that you'd like to submit. Also remember to go follow me on Twitch. It's the same as the YouTube channel that you're watching this on right now. Right now I'm making a bit of a backlog of these videos because we have the holidays coming up, so I'm sitting down and I'm recording several of these all in one sitting. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, why not just do them all in one go in one video? Well, it's because I want to keep this between 10 to 20 minutes, and I tend to ramble. That's what I like to do, and I like to yap. I'm a big yapper. I'm big on the yap. That being said, we have our first question, and only question, because I'm mentally not in the headspace that I'm going to do several of these videos all at once. Whatever, who cares? Hey, trippy boy, don't call me that. How do you find the energy to stream? I have a very hard time with streaming as I don't have the energy to do it. Plus, I don't have that many viewers, so that's also energy draining. What should I do? Now, I can't do much for helping you out with getting more viewers. In fact, I feel like I kind of struggle with bringing more new viewers into my own audience myself, so I kind of can't help you with that one there. But if I had to say anything about finding the energy to stream, typically what I do is I force myself. And usually within the first 40 minutes, it's pretty excruciating. Even if let's just say I don't feel like streaming that day, but I'm like, oh, I'm scheduled to go live, and, I have a, obligation to do it, whether it be a sponsorship or, whatever it is. I force myself to do it. And yeah, those first 40 minutes of stream, they are pretty excruciating. I feel like I'm kind of struggling to find my energy, and usually I'm pretty low energy and with chat and whatnot. But then after that, I usually find myself picking up the pace a little bit. I find myself kind of getting that second wind, but in fact, it's really just the first wind. To be honest with you, if I don't find that energy, if I don't get that first wind, I just end stream. And there's nothing wrong with that. Perfectly fine. If you just don't have the energy to do it that day, that's perfectly fine. For me personally, though, to answer your question, I guess a little more directly, because you say, how do I find the energy to stream? Typically what I do is I make a schedule that works for me. I'm very much not a morning person. I've streamed in the morning before, several times. I've done 12-hour-long streams. I've done subathons where I've had to go live at like 9 a.m. on the dot. And if you've ever watched any of those, you can just tell immediately I am not a fucking morning person. I am such a, go live later in the day type person. Get everything else done that I have to do earlier in the day and then go live at night. Typically, I start around 6 p.m. Sometimes earlier, sometimes a little bit later. And my honest thing is, just find whatever works for you. Maybe you're a morning streamer. Maybe that's where your energy is best spent, is being a morning streamer. There's an audience for anything. And maybe you can adapt content around that. There you go. I'm giving you some ideas, and you can pull in some new viewers. There are some people out there who work at night and they don't have a chance to, watch streamers. So maybe during the day, maybe even they work from home. They sit at a desk and they put on a streamer in the background. And while they're working their 9 to 5 from home, they listen to you maybe. There's always what I'm trying to say is that I'm not the best in terms of asking the question of how do I find the energy to stream, because I just sort of adapted a schedule around what works for me. That's just my best piece of advice right there, is to find a schedule that works for you and run with that. Now, I want to address part of the question here that says, I don't have that many viewers, or plus I don't have that many viewers, and that kind of affects your energy a little bit. What you need to do, and this is what I found works for me though, especially if it's a night where maybe I'm low viewership that night. I'm not getting, maybe I'm averaging 5 or maybe 10 viewers or something like that. I just pretend I'm streaming to 10,000 people. I just pretend. I turn off. In fact, you know what? The best piece of advice to anybody out there, turn off your view count. Don't look at your view count whenever you're live. Ignore it completely. Pretend it's not there. Because I used to sit there when I first started streaming, checking that view count every 5 minutes. And it would, of course, when you're first starting out streaming, you're going to see 1, 2, maybe 3 people in your view count. Maybe some of them aren't even chatting. They're just listening to you in the background. By the way, I love the lurkers, by the way. Nothing wrong with being a lurker. Love me a lurker. You're totally welcome in my community. But turn off your view count. Ignore it completely. Pretend you're streaming to 5,000, 10,000, maybe even just a couple hundred people. Just in your head. Pretend that there are so many people watching you that you can't even keep up with chat because maybe there's nobody talking in your chat. Maybe your chat's a little bit dead. What you really have to do, you kind of have to be a little bit delusional, to be honest with you. That's the best piece of advice here, is to be just ever so slightly delusional when it comes to, letting viewership affect your energy. Because that, like, as you stated in your question, you don't have that many viewers, so that's also energy draining. And I feel like sometimes that can just be the biggest draw of your energy, is that you're noticing you don't have that many viewers. So you kind of got to trick your brain a little bit. Maybe saying being delusional is not the best piece of advice that I could give you, but I would say trick your brain a little bit. Trick your brain. And the other thing to do that I find is that remind yourself, though, that anybody can be watching your stream. Anybody can watch your stream. Whether it be through a VOD, a YouTube video, a clip that somebody else uploads. When you're streaming, when you're live, you are putting yourself out there for anybody to interpret you in whatever way they want, right? Whether it's taking a clip, whether it's publishing the VOD, which I don't think anybody publishes my VODs, but that would be my job to upload those to YouTube. Maybe I should get on that. Maybe that'll be my new task for the new year. Who knows? But yeah, just remind yourself that, anybody can be watching at any point, and you should pretty much gear your content and yourself almost as if you're recording a YouTube video. I understand a lot of people like streaming because of the live setting, the nature of being live and interacting with chat. But remind yourself that a lot of the time, people find your streams and find you through things such as like clips and VODs and edits and whatever. It's very hard to authentically grow on Twitch just by going live and not also promoting yourself on YouTube and TikTok and all these other things, which is all stuff that I've had to start doing. It's a lesson I wish I kind of learned earlier and also implemented into my career earlier as a streamer. But also, just to kind of circle back a little bit, if you just don't have the energy that night, there's really nothing wrong with just ending stream and going, hey guys, I really just don't feel like doing it tonight. Or what I typically do is I cut my stream a little bit short. I say, hey guys, it's going to be a short one tonight. Usually I like to go live for anywhere from 3 to 4 hours on average a night. But, sometimes life gets in the way and you got to cut things a little bit short. Sometimes you just do an hour-long stream, hour and a half. And there's nothing wrong with changing up your content halfway through the stream. Maybe the game you're playing isn't working out for you. I guess what I'm trying to say is just have fun. Have fun with it. There's so much that I'm trying to say here, because this is a very, there's so much that goes into finding the energy to stream, and it's something that I'm constantly at a personal battle with myself. I want to obviously put on a good show for everybody every night, but hey, I'm human too, and I don't always have the energy to do so. And honestly, maybe this kind of sounds like a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, but maybe streaming just isn't for you and other forms of content creation are. Recently, I'll admit, I've had a lot more passion for making videos and making recorded content. That's what like I said, I'm spending my entire day doing that instead of potentially I could have done a 12-hour stream today, but no, I've decided instead I want to stay home and, work on, recorded content, especially because the holidays are coming up. There's nothing wrong with realizing that streaming just might not be for you. And there's also nothing wrong with just ending your stream for the night, going, hey guys, you know what? I don't have the energy to do it tonight. To kind of summarize everything, because I do really like this question. It's a good one. The reason I picked it, I always skip a question if I don't like it. It's just to say, just turn off your view count. That shouldn't matter to you when you're starting out small. Don't even look at your stream summary when you're over. I found that looking at my stream summary at the end of every stream was just putting me in the most negative mood. I would be like, oh my God, my average went down or this or that. It's all about having a positive mood. I really think that's what it is. And I've been kind of struggling with that recently. And I realized I've been looking at my view count and looking at my, what's it called? My stream summary. And it's not conducive to my energy, my positive energy that I try to radiate whenever I'm live. And it probably isn't conducive to yours. And you even stated in the question that you don't have that many viewers. Ignore that completely. Just completely ignore the view count. It should be irrelevant to you. And I know that sounds a little mean. I know I sound kind of maybe a little bit mean to you right now. And I'm not trying to be mean to you. But it's actually really good advice. And once you go live, and I guarantee you, whoever you are who submitted this question, like I said, you have to remain anonymous when you submit a question here. I guarantee you that first stream where you just ignore your view count, you ignore everything, you just stream, you do what's fun for you, what's funny for you, and what makes you laugh, whatever makes you whatever entertains you, you'll find that energy. You will absolutely find that energy. In fact, I want to say that recently I did a stream where I recreated cringy TikToks, for lack of a better word, and I was just having fun doing it. In fact, I was almost out of my comfort zone a little bit. And that's another thing too. Get a little bit out of your comfort zone. Maybe you're a little too comfortable. That's why you don't have the energy. You're too comfortable. I found that getting out of my comfort zone and doing that stream where I was riddled with not even like anxiety, but embarrassment while doing that stream. And it was one of my highest viewed streams in a long time. And man, it was like people loved it. And granted, I'm not saying you should go and recreate cringy TikToks. I got a lot of hate comments for it. In fact, if you guys want a little something to laugh at, I got a notification, I think it was either from TikTok or YouTube, about how some anti-bullying protection thing was put in place on a few of my videos because of that, which is, pretty funny to think about. But all right, to keep this video relatively short, and, maybe there's going to be some Fortnite gameplay over this video. Just ignore the fact that I suck at Fortnite. In fact, leave a comment about how bad I suck at Fortnite. I'd actually be perfectly okay with that. Make it a little bit funny. Either way, I hope I was able to answer your question properly. Maybe things got a little mixed up and scrambled there a little bit. I'm kind of scrambling here myself. Call me eggs. All right, I'm going to see myself out. That was an awful joke. Not even really a joke, to be honest with you. But if you'd like to submit a question, the Google form is down in the description, and I'd be more than happy to answer it. Hopefully very, very soon, because I got to make a bunch of these videos right now. All right, see you guys.